Well, it's Sunday, and we all know what Sunday means. Sunday means that we're doing a live planning session. I wanted to do this planning session a little bit differently, and I wanted it to be the leadership edition. And the reason is because I know many of you follow me for two reasons. And even if you aren't a leader in your direct sales business, this will still apply to you. So totally fine. You can stay on, you can hang out with me. So really today's live is for anybody that wants to be better at going into the start of their week, really feeling like they have a good game plan. There is nothing worse than waking up on a Monday morning with that feeling of, do you know what I'm talking about? Where the alarm goes off and you wake up, your eyes pop open and your chest immediately starts pounding and the butterflies in your stomach, and you're thinking through all of the things that you have to do in your work week. And early on in my direct sales business, I realized that I didn't like the way that felt. And I understood that I didn't need to stay in that position. I didn't need to stay in that feeling of, oh my gosh, that anxiety 24/7. And also, I found that I had these big goals in my business. And I knew that if I wanted to get from that starting point of where I was to achieving the benchmarks that were going to help me get to those big goals, I needed to be planned and organized. Hi, hello, Adriana. It's good to see you. Hi, Lindsay. And I really needed to be planned. I needed to be organized. I needed to show up in my work week, and I had to have a game plan. So no matter where you're at in life, in business right now, we can never get from where we are to where we want to go if we don't have a game plan. If we treat our business like, if I get time to work the business, then I'll do it. If we treat it like a hobby, if we treat it like an afterthought, you'll always be stuck in that. You'll get stuck in that really like, oh my gosh, I can't seem to get over that hump. I can't seem to get to where I want to be. So I want to talk about that. And as a leader, the second part that I want to add to that today is your team is looking for you to lead them. They are looking for clear guidance and direction for where they should be going. And as you start bringing on people into your organization, it's no longer about what's my plan? What do I need to post on social media? What do I need to do during my business hours? How do I need to show up? But that second level is I need to give my team clear direction. My team needs to know what they're working towards this week, and they need to know why these are the goals, and they need to know how these goals are going to help by them doing the work that you're asking them to do. How does that get them one step closer to where they want to be? And I think that's a missing piece for a lot of leaders is we just go through the motions. We just show up every single day and we do the work, and we don't take that extra step of saying, pause. Have I explained to my organization why I'm doing what I'm doing, how doing these tasks are going to get me or them to the goals that they want to accomplish, and why we should push forward even when life is busy, when life is crazy, when we have a million different things going on. And sometimes the last thing that we want to do after a crazy busy weekend or a long day at our full-time job, the last thing we want to do is sit down and work on our business. But when we understand that in the way we're going to get to that success is by making daily decisions that aren't always comfortable, they're not always convenient, but they are no doubt going to get us to where we want to go. So there are two things as a leader that I sit down and I do every single weekend. And I start with myself first. One thing that most leaders flip around is they show up every single day in their business and also on the weekends, and they plan what they're going to do for their team. Instead of you showing up and saying, I'm going to plan my team first, I want you to start showing up and saying, how do I plan for myself first? Very simple, easy switch I want you to make. So this is my time blocker from last week. And as you can see on here, I'm not sure if you can see it, but you see all these check marks. This is all the things that I've accomplished this week. I check them off as I go. You can also see in here, I've written everything in pencil. Why? Because there are a lot of times where I erase and I move things around, and I want my time blocker to be the most accurate, almost to-do list and action list that I have. So I'm sitting here on this Sunday, and I've sat down and I've really looked at my goals for the week. Here are my monthly goals and here are my weekly goals. I also want to make progress. So what is my progress so far in these goals? So I am very aware of what did I accomplish this week. So my weekly goal was this. Did I actually accomplish the goal? I'm going to document that progress. Then I take a look at next week. And my first step is to sit down, and my Google Calendar is up here on my computer screen. My Google Calendar has my kids' schedule, both of my Landon and Bryce's, all of their sports, practices, games, training. It also has my husband's schedule and my schedule on there as well. So the first thing that I'm going to do on Sundays when I sit down is, what are my commitments to my family this week? I also am going to sit down and say, what do I need to accomplish? So I pulled my monthly goals. What have I accomplished so far on my monthly goals? And what needs to happen this week? And I have a deadline that I need to accomplish by the end of this week. So I'm very clear on the deadline. When I know my deadline, that really now says, okay, if I want to sign up 5 customers by Friday, how does my week need to look? What are the actions that need to go in my week? If I want to sign up 5 customers, I need to make sure I've got social media content, stories. I need to invite. I need to follow up. I need to make connections. I've got to send emails. So now I'm starting to make this mental list, and a lot of times I'll just sit here. You can see my little piece of paper where I make notes, and I'm sitting here and I'm just writing down all the things that are popping into my head that I know that I need to do. From there, I come over to my time blocker and I start to plug it in. If my working hours are going to be 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., or if you are somebody that goes to a full-time job, you're going to write in your full-time job, and then you're going to start plugging in when you're going to show up for your business. So I will say and this is a leadership tip, is your first part of your day, whatever that looks like. If your first part of your work day on your business, it doesn't happen until 5 p.m. at night, the first part of your business day should not be serving your team. The first part of your business day should be serving your business. It should be, I'm doing my post, I'm doing my stories, I'm sending my follow-ups, I'm doing my invites, I'm doing my connections and reach outs. It should be serving your current customers. Then whatever the second part of your business day is, whether that is 7 p.m. at night or 11 a.m. in the morning, that's where you're answering team messages. That's where you're doing your content for your team page. But we should always remember, we got to put the oxygen mask on ourselves first before we can do that for our downline. And as a leader, what does that do? When you work your business first, now you have content to share in your team page. Now you can tell them, I sent this email, I did this follow-up, I made this post because this is my goal and this is where I'm going. And you can really guide them through your action, and they see you doing. So in order for, us to really have a successful week, first we need to make a game plan. And if you don't have a downline, if you don't have a team yet, how amazing is it going to be for you to get a hold of your calendar first? Can you imagine what that's going to be like for your organization? Once you begin to grow an organization, you're going to be organized, you're going to be efficient, you're going to know how long things take you, and you're going to be better equipped to lead once you get there because you've done the work today. All right, so once I block out my work time, I do go in and write what I'm going to be doing during those hours. The other thing that I do is I schedule in my downtime, my personal growth, and my movement. So for me, a big part of my business journey and being a healthy CEO is working out. It is making time for myself to go to bed at a decent time, and it's making time for me to do things like journaling, my gratitude practice, and reading personal development books. So I do that. 5 a.m., this is my gratitude, this is my setting myself up for my day, this is when I do movement, and this is when I take a shower. It's all written in there. And if I need to adjust my day or take a rest day, I can easily do just that. Then part 2 in your Sunday planning process now is you sitting down and going through your business from the last week. And inside of the Direct Sales Done Right Planner, every Sunday, friends, every Sunday as a network marketer, as a business owner that uses social media, whether it is Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Wherever you are doing business, if you are just showing up on social media and throwing spaghetti at the wall and you are just trying to see what sticks, if you don't have a plan or a purpose behind the content you're putting out there, it's going to feel like a pretty big burden. Your social media is going to get heavy, and I don't want that for you. Also, how are you supposed to teach your downline how to build on social media if you do not have a systematic process for how to do that? So why do we need to master it? Because if we want to eventually build a team, lead a team, we need to be able to do this for ourselves. It doesn't mean that you have 100,000 followers. It doesn't even mean that you have 10,000 followers. It's more important that you have engaged followers and that you are speaking to your ideal target audience. That is so important. So every Sunday I sit down and I go through my stats. And as you can see, I've done Instagram right here because Instagram is really the big place that I run my business. That's where I measure progress, is on there. So I've gone through, I've done that. I've also come up here and I've paid attention to my business results. How did my social media support my business goals? And then I also talk about the things that I want to do for this upcoming week. Once I've really reflected on my stats, what worked and what didn't work. And a lot of times you want to pay attention to, and this is a big tip right here. This is a noteworthy, write this down. When you're in a sales sequence, meaning your number one goal is to sell something. So whether it is signups for your team, whether it's signups for a product, whatever it might be, whether it's people purchasing something from you or a service, and your social media is very much focused on selling, you will notice that a lot of times your comments go down during that sales sequence, but you're measuring success based on whether or not you hit your sales goal. I'll give you an example of that. Over the last week, I have been marketing my leadership mastermind that is kicking off this Wednesday, the 14th. And if you're a leader listening to this right now and you're interested in joining, you only have a couple of days and only a couple of spots left before everything kicks off and before enrollment is closed. But I've been doing a lot of social media content around leadership, around the mastermind. And even though I may not have tons and tons of comments underneath of those posts, I know that it's successful because I've got DMs of people that are interested in the mastermind and I'm signing people up for the mastermind. So I'm measuring success based on, am I getting the clients to sign up? Do I have the conversations and leads of new people? Not necessarily on how many likes, comments, and shares that I'm getting. So when you're in a sales sequence over serving, the way that you're measuring the success of that piece of content is going to look a little bit different than in other times of the month. Does that make sense? If you guys understand that, comment below. I get it. I understand. We can sometimes get in our head about the likes and the comments and the shares, the engagement number, but remember, what is it that you're measuring? Ultimately, you're doing social media so that you can grow a business out of it as well. So I pay attention to that. And then after I do that, I sit down and I start to go through, okay, what is my content going to look like this week? I sit down and I write, this is what I'm going to post in my stories every single day this upcoming week that has to do with what I'm marketing. So if I want to do testimonials on Monday, I write that down. Then I go into my time blocker. When am I going to collect the testimonials? When am I going to be making those stories? If I know I'm going live with somebody, I'm also thinking about, okay, what is going to be the cover photo for that live? Do I need to make that ahead of time? Can I write the caption for the live that I'm going to be doing? If I'm going to be making reels and maybe it's a day in the life reel, I find the audio and there's a place for you to write your audio down. So I'm writing my audio, I'm writing my tagline. I know what my posts are going to be about. I know what my stories are going to be about. And I have literally planned out my entire week. My social media content is focused on what is my marketing goal that I need to get to. So now I can really sit down and say, okay, it's Sunday. I have time to write 5 or 6 posts for the week. I may sit down and write them. Sometimes I will be more inspired in the moment. And if I have the time to write it in the moment, I will write it in the moment. And sometimes I have to do it first thing in the morning before the busyness of the rest of the day. But as a direct sales mentor, I know that by me having a plan, I can now go into my team page and tell my team how to have a plan. here's the thing. I wrote a post this morning about, disorganized leaders develop disorganized downlines. Leaders that are not confident, leaders that don't have systems, they produce downlines that are not confident. They are not systematic. They are not organized. And so I know that if I want my team to show up and reach their sales goals, if I want my team to build an organization, if I want my team to use social media to get results, then I have to show up and use social media to get results. I have to show up and have a game plan, and I need to teach them how to do it too. So do you guide your team? Do you take the time to go in and plan your week, to plan out your social media content, to write out your goals so that Monday morning you are not waking up and going, what do I need to do today? But you are waking up Monday morning and you know exactly what it is that you need to do. If you want to have a thriving, successful, organized downline, you need to start with yourself first. So this might be a really good gut check for yourself as you're kind of going into the end of 2022 and thinking about your goals for 2023. It may very much be, I need to get myself organized. I need to make this commitment to myself because my downline isn't duplicating. My downline isn't thriving because they don't know what to do, because I'm just doing and I'm not teaching them how to do it. So I really want us to kind of flip that narrative and start to say, as a leader, how do I make sure that I'm communicating more effectively what I want them to do? All right, so what I need for you guys to do is I need you to go get the Direct Sales Done Right time blocker and planner. You can get them at shop.chicinfluencer.com. So I want you to go snag them, and I want you to make that commitment to your own planning, to your own preparation, so that not only can you show up on Monday morning feeling empowered and confident about your business week, but we can begin to train the people that are coming into our lives, that are a part of our businesses, to do the same. Because at the end of the day, we all want thriving organizations. And that comes with really being able to communicate how to do the planning and preparation to set ourselves up for success. So I love seeing in the comments that you guys got the planner. I love it. That makes me so excited. We've got lots of great resources that go along with it, trainings that you have access to that are going to allow you to be able to implement this more fully. And you know that I do these Sunday planning sessions or Monday morning, depending on what's going on in life. But again, if you ever have questions, let me know, and make sure you tag me on Instagram if you got your planner and you've been using it. And we would love it if you could head on over to our website. So shop.chicinfluencer.com. There's a place for you to leave a review. And if you can leave us a rating and review of what you thought about the planner and time blocker, we would love that so much. We would be forever grateful if you could leave us a review. And if you purchased on Amazon, you can head over to Amazon and leave us a review there as well. All right, you guys, go get started with your time blocking. Go get started with your planning. It is great to see you guys on here live, and let's go be great leaders. Let's go create great teams by being organized ourselves. All right, you guys, have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye, everybody.